yesterday, I just happened to be talking to somebody and they said, fear is a direction. And they said, when you're pointing at something and you're scared, oftentimes that's the right thing. Because if you're not scared, it's not worthy of your time, effort, and, it's not worthy of you. And I remember reading, you ever read any books by Brene Brown? She's like,
yeah.
One of the things I just picked up from her that I thought was so good, that you said people describe you as fearless, right? And you're like, no, I just go after it. She said, courage doesn't exist unless there's fear. Like if I go, hey, Melissa, can you walk half a mile? You'd be like, of course, there's no fear. But I go, hey, can you hike up Mount Everest? It's like, oh, well, there's some fear there. And therefore to do it would take courage, right?
Yeah.
And she was saying she talked to even like soldiers and stuff and special forces guys. And they're like, if asked when were you most courageous, it always also when you were the most fearful, right?
Yeah.
But I think one thing you learn with experience that you're demonstrating is pursuing things even in the face of fear results in that's what I think experience brings you, is the other side of that. Getting over that fear of contracting your office, getting over the fear of divorce. I'm sure that there were some scary times there, right? And getting to the other side is something that only experience sometimes shows you. So my point then to anyone listening.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, your friends describe you as fearless, and it looks to me like you've had a lot of great experiences now when you've decided, it's not that there was no fear. There might have been great fear, but most is the kind of person that goes, okay, but it's not going to stop me. It's not like you don't experience it, but you're still willing to go forward.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's that validation. There's two things that come to mind there. One is that it gets easier with time. So the more you do, it's like 20 years in practice. So someone's in here this morning and she had vertigo, and I can say with more confidence, because I've adjusted so many people, that, okay, this is the connection and these are probably what you're going to experience. And this is like based on my clinical findings, right? So that comes with life too. Like whether you're in practice or in decisions you're trying to make and how to exercise a new adventure in your business, or to try it, to go hike a mountain, whatever it's going to be. That's the beauty of experience. And I think that working with people or having people around you at all different stages of practice life is so valuable, because you can rely on the experience, right? The good and the bad. You said the seasons of like, my money's going out, but you realize it's going to come back. Like it's a marathon of life, not just a sprint. But I really, really think, and I always like to stress with people, like we're not all supposed to be the same. So the world would be very, very boring if we were all the same, built the same. There's leaders and there's followers. There's different personality types. There's introverts, extroverts. There's, we're supposed to be different. And so just because you can start a podcast here and do it and you're confident doing it, doesn't mean that everyone should do a podcast. Right? Like you need to know your skills. You need to know that you could be listening to us chat right now as a listener, be like, oh, that sounds terrifying. Well, then maybe you shouldn't do it. That's okay. You have your own skills. So really, getting to know your own personality and knowing who you are. And then don't get me wrong, that's a lifelong journey, but whether you do, reading books or listening to podcasts or self-evaluations or retreats or coaches, mentors, pastors, whoever it is going to be for you, really spend time getting to know yourself and what your skills are, and then build a business that connects with who you are. To me, that's how you start to build a trustworthy business, because you can actually trust yourself and how you're showing up. Your brand is going to be consistent. People are going to know and expect you to be the same person you are that you're portraying in your videos or on social media.
Yeah.
And the results are there too. And not to mention, when you do that, you actually feel like yourself. There's so many people that you see and they're carrying a facade or they're wearing a mask. And you're like, that's got to be exhausting. But also, you're not being congruent. So how do you pretend to be someone that you're not in your business and your relationships? Yeah. It's not congruent. It's exhausting.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Like I've had that experience where, you find a provider or something for some service and you look on their website and blah, blah, and it tells you all this stuff. And then you go in and I'm like, something's wrong here. And they could be an expert in medicine, but I'm like, the disconnect between what I saw on the website and the person in front of me is so great that I worry that there's a disconnect between what I need as medicine and what you can provide, Yeah. Like I go to a pulmonologist for stupid reason, but
yeah,
I always think about them. Like, I'm like, there's so much disconnect here that I'm almost uncomfortable in that office. And I find myself questioning a lot of decisions, but it's all that authenticity you're saying, like. And I think that's that trustworthiness, whether it's like dating somebody and decide like something's wrong here. This is not good.
Yeah.
Or, whether it's a service provider or a vendor, maybe it's somebody that you're like, God, when push comes to shove, I just don't think you're going to provide what you say you're going to provide. That sucks. And that's that trust piece that I love discussing, and how that occurs. So you've gone through a lot of this and experienced it. Let's move a little bit to you trust. Let's say somebody's listening, they trust that intuition and decide, hey, I'm going to pursue a certain type of practice. For you, that was a smaller space, indoor, outdoor, looks like bright colors, bright people. I'm going to guess come to your, your
fun.
practice.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun space here. Yeah.
Yeah. As people move forward to build their version of their perfect practice along the way, and with your podcast and all your mentoring and your masterminds, what do you think are some really good pathways or questions to ask yourself to know, is this truly my perfect practice?
I think it's first of all, like, well, what do you want? Like, and it's the easiest and hardest question. Like, what do you actually want in your family life, in your relationships, in your business, in your finances? And, it's a starting point, because then if you really want to manage a team of people and build a multidisciplinary practice, and amazing, go for it. Then this is how to do it. This is the boutique or the strategy, the structure to do it. But if in your heart right now in this, I think it's also important to look at your business in seasons, right? We talked about the seasons of, like, sometimes there's all these pairs and stuff, but sometimes there's seasons of, if you're having a young family, then your growth or opportunities then may be different than they're going to be when the kids are not living with you anymore. I'm at 50 right now. So my boys are 18 and 22. The things that I'm doing now, I would not have never been doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because my time was different. So looking at it from that perspective, but I do think asking yourself what you want, like, now, and then how do you go about it, but really getting clear on what success means to you. Because as you said earlier, is, we fall into this trap, and society does this in so many ways, of more is better.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Trust Driven Insights, brought to you by TrustDrivenCare. Imagine a world where all your patient communication is in one place, seamless, effortless, and on autopilot. That's the power of Trust-Driven Care. If you're ready to streamline your practice, check out TrustDrivenCare.com and see what's possible. Trust-Driven Insights. Real conversations. Smarter care. Stronger business.